The rain pelted the cracked asphalt of Lincoln High's courtyard, each drop exploding like a tiny bomb. Under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, a girl stood alone, her hoodie soaked, her eyes fixed on the ground. Her name was Amara Johnson, the quiet black girl nobody noticed until tonight. Her hands trembled not from the cold, but from the fire building inside her. Three figures emerged from the shadows, their sneers cutting through the storm. One of them, a tall girl with a cruel smirk, grabbed Amara's collar and yanked her forward. "You think you're better than us?" she hissed. What happened next would leave the entire school speechless. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join our community. We're diving into a story you won't forget. Amara wasn't always invisible. 2 years ago, she was the girl with the bright laugh, the one who'd sketch intricate designs in her notebook during lunch, dreaming of art school. But Lincoln High, a sprawling urban school in Chicago, had a way of grinding down dreams. It was a place where cliques ruled, and the wrong look could make you a target. Amara learned that the hard way when she transferred in sophomore year. Her family had moved from a small town in Georgia, chasing better jobs, but the city felt like a maze of concrete and judgment. She kept her head down, her voice soft, her sketches hidden. To most, she was just the quiet black girl who sat in the back, her braids tucked under a hoodie, her eyes avoiding trouble. But trouble always found her. The leader of the trio, now gripping Amara's collar, was Kaylee Summers, a senior with a reputation for ruling the school's social hierarchy. Kaylee's blonde hair was plastered to her face by the rain, but her eyes burned with malice. Flanking her were Maya and Tara, her loyal followers, their laughter sharp as knives. "What's in that bag, huh?" Kaylee demanded, pointing at the worn backpack slung over Amara's shoulder. "Bet it's just more of your weird drawings." The crowd forming around them, kids from the after-school program, phones already out, murmured and giggled. Amara's heart pounded, but she didn't speak. She never did. Not when Kaylee tripped her in the hallway last month. Not when Mia accidentally spilled juice on her sketchbook. Not even when Tara spread rumors that Amara was stuck up, because she didn't talk much. Silence was her shield, but tonight that shield was cracking. Kaylee's grip tightened, jerking Amara closer. "Say something, freak!" she spat. The crowd's phones flashed, capturing every second. Amara's eyes darted to the ground, where her backpack had fallen, its contents spilling into a puddle. Her pencils, her sketchbook, her dreams soaking through. Something snapped inside her. Not anger, not yet. It was deeper, like a dam breaking after years of pressure. She straightened, her gaze meeting Kaylee's for the first time. The crowd went quiet. Even the rain seemed to hush. "Let go," Amara said, her voice low but steady, like a distant rumble of thunder. Kaylee laughed, but it was forced, uneasy. She didn't let go. That was her mistake. Let's rewind a bit, because to understand what Amara did next, you need to know who she was before Lincoln High tried to break her. Back in Georgia, Amara was a star. Not the loud kind, but the kind whose light you couldn't ignore. She won art contests, her murals decorating the community center. Her mom, a single parent who worked nights as a nurse, used to frame every sketch Amara brought home. "You're going to change the world with these," she'd say, her voice thick with pride. But when they moved to Chicago, everything changed. The school was bigger, colder. Amara's accent marked her as different. Her quietness made her a target. She stopped showing her art, stopped smiling. But junior year, she was a ghost, slipping through the halls, hoping to be invisible. But Kaylee saw her. Kaylee always saw her. It started small, whispers, snickers, a shove in the cafeteria. Kaylee had a knack for spotting weakness, and Amara's silence was like blood in the water. The bullying escalated when Amara's art teacher, Menz Carter, praised her work in class, holding up a charcoal sketch of a woman's face. Amara's mom, though no one knew. Kaylee's jealousy flared. She wasn't used to anyone else getting attention. That's when the torment became relentless. Notes stuffed in Amara's locker, calling her names. Her gym clothes disappeared. Kaylee's crew followed her after school, taunting her on the bus. Amara took it all in silence, her sketches her only escape. But every artist has a breaking point, and Amara was about to find hers. Back in the courtyard, the rain was a curtain, blurring the faces of the crowd. Kaylee's hand was still on Amara's collar, her nails digging into the fabric. Mia and Tara circled like vultures, their phones recording. "What? You gonna cry now?" Mia mocked. Amara's eyes flicked to her ruined sketchbook in the puddle. The pages were open to a drawing, a fierce, unfinished portrait of a girl with flames in her eyes. It was Amara, or who she wanted to be. She took a breath, and something shifted. Her voice, when it came, wasn't loud, but it carried a weight that silenced the crowd. "You don't know me?" she said. Kaylee blinked, thrown off. "What?" she snapped. Amara stepped closer, forcing Kaylee to loosen her grip. "You don't know me," Amara repeated, louder now, her voice cutting through the storm. "But you're about to." The crowd gasped. This wasn't the Amara they knew, the girl who never fought back. Kaylee laughed, but it was nervous now, her confidence cracking. "You think you're tough all of a sudden," she sneered, shoving Amara's shoulder. Amara didn't stumble. Instead, she bent down, picked up her soaked sketchbook, and held it up like a shield. "This," she said, her voice steady, "is who I am, not your punching bag." She opened the book, the pages dripping, and showed the crowd the portrait of the fiery girl. "You can tear it up, but you can't erase me." The words hung in the air, heavy, electric. The crowd was silent, phones still recording, but now with awe instead of mockery. Kaylee's face twisted. She wasn't used to losing control. "You're nothing," she shouted, lunging for the sketchbook, but Amara was faster. She stepped back, clutching the book to her chest, and then, in a move no one saw coming, she started to tear out the pages herself. One by one, she ripped them free, letting them fall into the puddle. The crowd gasped again. "What are you doing?" Tara whispered, confused. Amara's eyes locked on Kaylee's. "I don't need these to prove who I am," she said. "I'm done hiding." With each page that hit the ground, it was like Amara was shedding the weight of every insult, every shove, every cruel laugh. The crowd was transfixed. Kaylee was gone, replaced by something like fear. But the real shock was still coming. As Amara tore the last page, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, folded piece of paper. It was dry, untouched by the rain. She unfolded it slowly, deliberately, and held it up. It was a letter, written in her neat handwriting. "This is for you, Kaylee," she said, her voice calm but commanding. The crowd leaned in, straining to hear over the rain. Amara began to read. "I forgive you. Not because you deserve it, but because I'm stronger than your hate. I've seen what you hide, your fear, your pain. I know why you do this. But I'm done letting you define me." The words hit like a thunderclap. Kaylee's face paled. The crowd murmured, some nodding, others whispering. Amara's forgiveness wasn't weakness. It was power, raw and unshakable. The letter wasn't just a gesture. Amara had spent weeks writing it, pouring her heart into every word. She'd overheard Kaylee's fights with her mom in the school parking lot, seen the way Kaylee's hands shook when she thought no one was watching. Amara knew Kaylee's cruelty came from a place of hurt, but she also knew she didn't have to carry that burden. By reading the letter, Amara wasn't just confronting Kaylee. She was freeing herself. The crowd felt it. The air was thick with emotion, the rain a backdrop to a moment that felt like it belonged in a movie. Kaylee stumbled back, her bravado shattered. "You're crazy," she muttered, but her voice was weak. Mia and Tara exchanged glances, unsure what to do. The crowd was no longer on their side. Phones were still out, but now they were capturing Amara's triumph. She folded the letter and slipped it back into her pocket. "You can keep trying to tear me down," she said, her eyes never leaving Kaylee's. "But I'm not going anywhere." With that, she turned and walked away, her soaked hoodie clinging to her, her head high. The crowd parted, some clapping, others whispering her name. Amara didn't look back. As Amara reached the edge of the courtyard, a figure stepped out from the dispersing crowd. Jamal, a lanky junior who'd always lingered on the fringes of Lincoln High's social scene. He was in her art class, always sketching comic book heroes in the margins of his notes, but they'd never spoken much. His glasses were fogged from the rain, but his eyes were wide with something like admiration. "Amara, wait," he called, jogging to catch up. She paused, wary, her grip tightening on her sketchbook. Jamal hesitated, then pulled a crumpled sketch from his pocket, a vibrant drawing of a superhero with braids and a fierce gaze, unmistakably inspired by her. I saw what you did back there," he said, his voice shaky but earnest. "You're not invisible. Not to everyone. I've been watching your art for months. It's powerful. You're powerful." Amara's breath caught. For so long, she'd felt like her sketches were screams into a void, unseen, unheard. But here was Jamal holding out proof that someone had been paying attention. He continued, I know what it's like to feel like you don't belong. My dad's gone. Mom's always working. Kids like Kaylee, they make you feel small so they don't have to face themselves. But you just showed everyone what strength looks like. Amara's eyes softened, a flicker of the old brightness returning. She took the sketch, her fingers tracing the lines. Why didn't you say anything before? She asked quietly. Jamal shrugged, a shy smile breaking through. Guess I was scared too, but not anymore. He glanced at the crowd now scattering into the rain. You changed something tonight, Amara. Not just for you. For the first time, Amara felt a spark of connection, a reminder that she wasn't alone. She nodded, tucking Jamal's sketch into her pocket beside the letter. Thanks, she said, her voice steady but warm. Maybe we can draw together sometime. Jamal's grin was like sunlight breaking through the storm. That moment, small but profound, was a bridge to a new beginning, one where Amara's voice, through her art and her courage, would keep growing. The next day, Lincoln High was buzzing. The video of Amara's stand went viral on social media, racking up thousands of views by lunch. Kids who'd never spoken to her stopped her in the halls, some to apologize, others to say they'd always admired her art. Miss Carter, the art teacher, pulled Amara aside and offered to help her submit her portfolio to a local art contest. You've got a voice, Amara, she said. Use it. Amara nodded, a small smile breaking through. For the first time in years, she felt seen. Not as the quiet black girl, but as Amara, the artist, the fighter, the survivor. Kaylee, meanwhile, was unraveling. The video exposed her cruelty, and her followers drifted away. She didn't show up to school for a week. When she returned, she avoided Amara's gaze. Some said she was embarrassed. Others whispered she was scared. Amara didn't care. She wasn't out for revenge. She'd already won. The story doesn't end with a perfect bow. Life at Lincoln High wasn't suddenly perfect for Amara. There were still whispers, still challenges. But she was different now. She started sharing her art again, her sketches filling the school's art room with color and life. Her mom framed the letter Amara had read to Kaylee, hanging it beside her old drawings. That's my girl, she said, tears in her eyes. Amara's quiet strength had changed more than just her own life. It had inspired others. Kids who'd been silent started speaking up. The school felt a little less cold, a little more human. As the rain stopped that night in the courtyard, Amara walked home, her ruined sketchbook still clutched in her arms. She didn't need it anymore, but it was a reminder of who she'd been and who she was becoming. The city lights reflected in the puddles, and for the first time in a long time, Amara smiled. She wasn't invisible anymore. Thank you for watching this story of courage and resilience. If Amara's journey moved you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And let's get those comments going. Tell me, from which part of the country are you watching this video? Drop it below, and let's see how far this story travels.